All right, now from Matters News, where we're just giving you what has been making the headlines concerning the handshake between President Uhuru Kenyatta and Raila Odinga, made the headlines for the better part of this year. Matters School and Rest. It's time to talk about renewable energy in the country. Is Kenya doing enough when it comes to renewable energy? Because just in terms of saving the environment, that is a discussion we want to have this morning with the chairperson of City Africa, that is Lemmy Mbogori. Lemmy Mbogori. Yeah, I don't know why I said Mbogori. Lemmy Mbogori. He's the chair of the Cita Africa, not City Africa. It is Cita Africa.
No, it's EIT Africa.
And it's you're the
EIT Africa.
EIT Africa. So we want to talk about renewable energy in Kenya. When you talk about renewable energy in Kenya, you know, someone might be asking, renewable energy, are we renewing the energy? What is all about, let's start by, you know, just trying to educate our viewers what renewable energy is all about.
Okay, thank you, Brenda. This is good. Renewable energy basically is actually energy that is not depletable. It's a renewable that keeps on coming back. Like, for example, solar is renewable energy, wind is renewable energy, energy that is actually naturally acceptable, actually. And so renewable energy in Kenya actually is actually gaining ground, and you can see there's a lot of this happening actually behind the scenes and even outside. The government is doing a lot about it, and every other Kenyan now knows about renewable energy. I'm sure about that.
We can't say that every Kenyan knows about renewable energy, but let's talk about the people in the slum areas. Not so many of them might be using renewable energy because people within the better part of this country, talk of Kileleshwa, Runda, you'll find lots of homes using renewable energy, especially when it comes to solar. And of course, some areas within the grassroots levels, up country, the people who started using renewable energy, the solar system. But people within the slums, we still see people buy charcoal, and the government is sort of trying to get rid of charcoal. How are the people living in the slums expected to adopt renewable energy? Okay,
that is good. Okay, but then the government is actually working very hard even to help the slum dwellers actually to adopt renewable energy, and you know, the banning of logging and tree cutting, of course, which has impacted, positively. I think this actually is making them now realize actually yes, it's true that there's another source of energy that can be used. So when we talk about solar, of course, when people see solar and actually it's producing power and nothing much is required, of course they try to embrace it. And so the government ban on the tree cutting and the encouragement of even use of LPG, other sources of energy, of course, is one thing that is actually taking root in the country. So I think even those people actually who are living in the slums actually are trying now to come, to embrace it, basically, actually to embrace the renewable energy aspect. And I think it's gaining ground, just like I've said again. It is really.
But will it take long before Kenya reaches that stage of everything is totally about renewable energy? How long can it take Kenya?
No, I think I can actually tell you that there's a revolution for renewable energy currently. And I think with the introduction of a few products that are coming up in the market, for example, copper solar, M-TATU solar, and so many other products actually that are coming up. And the laws that actually the government is trying to put into place, people actually trying to get into it. It's quite becoming quite fast. It's actually gaining ground faster than we would expected.
Faster.
So I think, it is actually gaining ground. That's what I can say.
But if you know you're someone who deals a lot with renewable energy, like if you look at our country right now, and within your estimates, you know, if you can estimate how long will it take the entire nation, not within just the urban center, but also at the grassroots levels, that is the up country, the entire country, like how long can we take before the entire country just decides we're using renewable energy no matter what?
My prediction is actually less than 10 years.
In less than 10 years, we can achieve that?
We can achieve.
So how can we achieve that?
Well, you see, when the kind of laws that have been put into place, apart from the, okay, fine, sometimes we are actually the enemies of our own by when the government comes up with a law that is encouraging the use of renewable energy, like for example the solar water heating systems, which came into place, the regulation that came into place. There was two regulations that were put into place: the EMR, the Energy Management Regulation, and then the solar water heating regulation. Both of them 2012. But we realize that we are the ones who are actually trying to hamper this, and the requirement of you going solar for water heating, that is a requirement that has been there for the last 5 years, and yet you find that people are going to court to try to do this kind. So when the government also now, or even the other arms of government actually now try to embrace it, then it will be faster, even the uptake will be more quicker.
And I like the fact that you've mentioned that when the government is trying to bring change in the country when it comes to renewable energy, people run to the courts.
Yes.
Let's talk about the latest court that was at the International Arbitration Court, and it was all about the Kinangop wind power project that the country was actually supposed to benefit, and especially residents from Nyandarua County. And we're seeing people went to the International Court to talk about it, seeking a compensation of about 31 billion shillings. Was it the right thing to do?
I wouldn't say the right thing, honestly. But I think Kenyans, I don't want to say there's something that actually, there's something that they're trying to do, which maybe they want to feel that they're part of it, maybe that kind of thing. But I think it is not the right thing, really, because this benefits to us. It's a benefit to us. I remember some time ago when the government introduced the energy-saving bulbs. In fact, they bought the bulbs and actually encouraged.
And there's a lot of resistance.
There was a lot of resistance. But in actual sense, that the idea was you get one bulb in your homestead and then see how it saves you. And actually, it took off immediately after that. And then now, when they come up with this kind of laws and people actually use it and see the benefit, instead of people trying to look at the benefit, they see that as if the government is trying to oppress on them, which is not the case. So I think it's only fair that we try to embrace that actually when the government is coming up with a good thing that can benefit us, we look at it. We take a step back and look at it and see, yes, this is beneficial.
But is it because of lack of awareness?
I think, yes.
Because you see, like the Kinangop incident, there was a lot of demonstrations. Because, and I remember when Nyandarua governor, that is Francis Kimeme, was saying, some politicians misled the people. Others were saying, oh, the wind power project will bring disease. Others were saying diseases like cancer. Others were saying, oh, the wind power project will not benefit from it. People from other areas they'll come here and they'll get employment. And you're wondering, like, is there a need for Kenyans to be educated very well when it comes to the negatives and the positives when it comes to renewable energy? Yeah,
we need a lot of awareness for Kenyans, especially, and to see. The only thing that I think some people feel that they need to be the ones who are actually giving Kenyans the rest of it. Like now, for example, when we talk about Kinangop, maybe the residents wanted to feel that it is a product. I mean, it's a project that and now people should benefit from. I mean, they are the ones actually who are supposed to benefit more than the rest of them. So I think we should also embrace ourselves that we are Kenyans, and therefore all the resources actually belong to Kenyans. That should be the thing that we really need to capitalize on. So, but in actual sense, I think the government, the awareness part of it, I think, was done, and maybe people now start to try to ignore things that are actually there until the last minute. Kenyans are the last minute people, and I've seen this again happen and again several times. So I think it's only fair that we actually adapt things when they come in and actually try to embrace them immediately. Instead of waiting the last minute and you see that things are coming up, then now start demonstrating or going to court or these kind of things. Okay. Yeah, I think...
okay, and I want us to connect the forest, and renewable energy when it comes to wind, because wind is one of sources of renewable energy when it comes to also electricity. Destruction of forest, how much did it affect renewable energy?
It has a lot of impact, a lot of impact. One, part of the renewable energy is actually hydropower. Yeah. So when there's no good rains for production of more hydropower, that is an effect, it's an impact by itself negatively. Then the tree cutting, of course, just like we're saying again, the wind itself produces wind. So when there are no trees, really, you don't expect much wind, for example. And so therefore, the tree cutting issue and the ozone layer, this is another thing that is already there when there's a lot of charcoal burning and all this kind of thing. So I think, yes, it has a lot of impact on itself, the tree cutting, and therefore it has really affected the renewable energy sector as much as you can say, yes.
So destruction of forest, does it justify the high cost of living when it comes to the electricity bill that Kenyans are paying during that time? Because there's a lot of concern, like, why are we paying a lot of, when it comes to electricity bill, it was so high. Can that justify, like, destruction of the forest? Did it justify for the high cost of electricity bill that Kenyans used to pay?
I can say yes, because you see, it's like when you're using hydropower, sorry, when you're using hydropower, the cost goes down, because there's no importation of levy, fuel, the fossil fuel that is coming in, the diesel generated power, which is quite expensive, and so therefore when there is more hydropower, actually the cost goes down, and therefore, of course, it has an impact. It has an impact.
Yes, now let's look at this. Let's flip the coin. So destruction of forest, of course, the cost of electricity goes up. Then we had the rainy season. But Kenyans were still saying, you know what? The bill is still high. Yet there's a lot of rain, and the rain also helps in terms of, like, when the level of water is high, of course, we expect electricity to be there. No power outage and the bill to go down. But still we saw nothing there's nothing that changed at all.
Well, okay, that one is a bit deep, and there are so many other factors that actually form up the bill. Actually, the bill itself, there's importation. If the dollar is quite high, and then the importation, the cost of importation, the forest bill, for example, and the dollar is high, then you expect the bill not to come down. For other factors which are actually not trained, and that is the economies. I mean, the other economies that other effects are actually the world effects. So really, sometimes when we are using, when the price does not go down for power, it's not because the rain has not, it's because of other factors that actually form it. But when you actually see there's enough power that is being produced, the hydropower that is being produced, there's always some a drift down. Yeah. So
and when you talk about renewable energy, which parts of the country, which counties actually is expected to benefit more when it comes to wind as a renewable energy?
I should think all the counties really.
Including Nairobi?
Including Nairobi.
Despite the tall buildings?
Yes, Nairobi. No, I can tell you for sure, I'll tell you that there are many the government organizations and even some of the buildings actually that actually adopting the renewable energy. The solar, for example. I can give you an example of Kenyari. Kenyari insurance, the insurance plaza, right now they have a whole solar system up the roof. And they're using the lighting for, lighting to light the light, to light lights, the solar. So if all the other buildings actually can even come that direction, then it's going to be good.
Then that means even people will lose jobs at Kenya Power. That was on a light note.
No, they can't lose job. But anyway, I think it is quite important actually people actually embrace it. I tell you for sure, the new products that are coming up in the market, like as I mentioned about M-Copper and M-TATU solar, where I belong also, we came up with a product that is solar water heating product and is also producing power. So you realize that people actually are even trying to embrace it quicker, faster. And they're saying, can we get out of the grid? That kind of thing. And we're saying, okay, fine, we can have KPLC as a backup. So now even also KPLC can also use it in other areas where it's mostly required.
But how affordable are these products that you're having?
They are quite affordable. In fact, these
probably let's talk about affordability when it comes to a Kenyan probably who earns maybe 500 shillings per day. That's a casual laborer, like a mjengo person. How affordable are your products?
It is quite affordable, I can tell you for sure, because, okay, fine, the products that are coming in, like M-Copper, just as I mentioned, or even M-TATU that belongs to us, we have created a pay-as-you-go system. We have actually made it easy for people to buy it. Like as you come, a product that is costing about 200 or even 50,000 shillings, you actually can pay over a year or over 2 years. So
it costs 50,000 shillings?
But like M-Copper actually costs about maybe 50,000 shillings.
Then you can pay?
And then you can pay even for about a year.
For about a year? For about a year. So that means...
So the money that you've been using, for example, to buy kerosene, for example, money to buy, any other thing, actually you can use it and have your house lit. So it is easy. Then when you have the M-TATU now, which is Majimoto Mwangaza product, you'll find that you actually can extend the payment up to about 24 months. So we've been heating water, water consumes about maybe 40% of your energy bill. And so when you're heating water with solar, and then there's a production of power, PV, which is not produced because it comes with the inverter, comes up with the batteries, then it produces power. And then you actually given a leeway to pay over a period.
When someone here hears M-TATU solar, someone can be wondering, M-TATU, Like if you break it down in a layman's language. Yeah.
M-TATU stands for Maji Moto Mwangaza. So it produces power. You know, we actually capitalize.
Which of course you use the solar.
You use the solar.
Yeah.
Yeah, you use the solar to heat the water, and then you also use the same solar to produce power in your house. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, and you know, my interest is what you mentioned, as even we wind up because we're running out of time. My interest is the way you're saying it is a product that costs 50,000 shillings, but you can pay within a span of 1 year.
Yes.
So just break it down for us. If you can pay it within a span of 1 year, this product, how long does a Kenyan need to pay at the end of every month?
Okay, fine. Now, let me talk about, copper, the one I've seen is that maybe they're paying about 100 shillings per day, which is actually equivalent to what they've been paying for the purchase of fuel, kerosene or any other thing. Okay, the government is now encouraging the use of LPG, which is very good, which is more renewable, and which is more efficient. But when it comes now to M-TATU solar, for example, the cost comes about 8,000 shillings. And you realize that actually those that are actually using M-TATU are people that are already connected to the grid, or even those that are not even connected to the grid, but they want to hot water and to produce power. So you pay about 8,000 shillings and over 24 months, which is more or less actually the same price that actually, or the same money that actually are paying for the bill.
And then as we wind up, Lemmy, it's just, you know, I'm just thinking as we wind up in a minute, do you think it will reach a time where Kenyans, Kenya as a country, will end up using solar for cooking instead of just heating water and lighting the house?
Yeah, of course.
Can we reach that level?
We're reaching that level. In fact, there's some areas that...
As in just using solar for cooking?
There are people, in fact, where we have installed some M-TATU solar, there are people who have actually even gone and level now to even get us out of the grid. And they're actually using it. They're using the cookers, they're using the other areas. Cookers are also coming, energy efficient products which are also coming to the country, which are quite energy sufficient. And the usage now, I mean the power demand is actually now becomes lower. So you actually can end up cooking with solar.
You can end up cooking solar?
You can end up cooking solar, yes.
And when
the power, if you have a power that can, if you have enough power that is being produced by the power, which can lighting, use the...
So actually you can use this solar for everything?
You can.
To cook, to light, to warm water?
You can power your house, your whole house.
And it won't, like the energy levels will not be affected?
No.
That's quite interesting.
That's
quite interesting for us as a nation. I think that's why we need to reach as a nation, you know, to get rid of paraffin, to get rid of charcoal, and we'll be conserving a lot when it comes to environment and also like in terms of cost of living. Because I mean there's been a lot of concern when it comes to cost of living. Yeah, we are getting there, Brenda. I'll tell you this for sure. There's a revolution, actually there's a revolution for solar, and I can tell you this for sure, renewable energy basically. And we are ready to embrace it. We are embracing it. Kenyans are embracing it. Yeah. Oh, wow, that's where we end our conversation. Lemmy, thank you so much, Lemmy, for coming over to speak to us about renewable energy in our country. And you know, the most important thing at the end of this conversation is that soon we are reaching, we've started using it slowly by slowly in some areas. Yeah. You know, using solar not only for lighting, not only for warming your water, but also for cooking. That is the best way to go as a nation. We've been speaking to Lemmy Mbogori, who's the chair of M-TATU. And, you know, M-TATU is all about renewable energy, ensuring that Kenyans use renewable energy. That is the end of our conversation. Thank you so much for joining us. Up next is Cruise Talk, where we shall be talking about corruption in the country. There's been a lot of concern, and especially when it comes to the arrest of Governor Sospita Ojaamong. Of course, the case is still in court, and just on Monday, Council of Governors came out defending one of their own, saying that actually governors are out, they have an immunity in terms of when they're in office. They're not supposed to be arrested and arraigned in court when it comes to corruption cases. We've seen EACC also being on the spot and also being accused that some politicians are using the anti-graft body to, you know, settle down their political differences. That is a discussion you really don't want to miss with our panelists this morning after the short break. My name is Brenda Zedera, and of course, Lemmy, thank you so much for coming. Brenda.